We're back with 843 TV, and now we're going to be talking with Barbara Catenaci, and she's the Executive Director of the Heritage Library. It's nice to have you today.
Thank you. We are thrilled to be here.
And there's so much to learn. So let's start off with, tell us who you are for those who may not know. What does the Heritage Library do?
The Heritage Library is a history and ancestry research center on Hilton Head. We are the repository for Hilton Head's history. So we have the town's planning documents. We have different historical projects that have been researched from our, by our researchers, and we also keep other research done by other folks. We also do ancestry research, so folks can come in, meet with genealogists, get some help doing their individual family research, but we also research the families on Hilton Head from the historical perspective. So we just finished a reconstruction project that will be going on the website. So it basically gives you a story of everyone who was on Hilton Head Island during the Reconstruction period. And it's a really exciting time for us. It was a project that took a large number of volunteers, almost 6 years to complete.
I would imagine so. Yeah, that's really neat.
So it's some fun stuff.
So you've got some new programs coming up. It's History and High-T. That's a really cute name. Tell us about that.
Sure. What we tried to do was kind of make our history lessons and our history classes a little bit more fun. So this gives you your history lesson, but then that social aspect following. So you get to speak to the presenters, you get to have, nice social interaction with, obviously, high tea is one of those fun things, especially in winter. So we're going to start out doing 2 of them. The first one is Historical Women on Hilton Head, and then we're going to do an author's chat. So we're just trying to make those history lessons a little bit more fun, a little bit more social, and really kind of bring in a new audience to come to our classes.
I was thinking, who might be an audience, your target audience for something like this?
Well, and our target audience, obviously, for history and high tea, and this is high tea is one of those experiences. And when I came up with this idea, high tea was something I did with my grandmother. Okay, and so it's something that I always loved to do. But also, we would go to museums and hear a lecture, go to high tea following, and things like that. So I thought it was a great way to try to present some of our history. It won't be, it won't be quite as formal as high tea at the Jefferson, but the South Carolina Yacht Club will be a lovely place to spend.
I think so, yes.
An afternoon and have some tea, but also learn about some really important women that have lived on this island. We're doing a little bit more. This first go round is more modern day women. Beanie Newhall, Charlotte Heinrich, Lois Richardson, and Louise Cohen. So we're going to cover, a lot of that early period, early development, and then what are we doing as a community to preserve the Gullah culture? And that's where Louise Cohen fits in. But when you think of the early development, the Newhalls, the Richardsons, Charlotte Heinrich, the Hacks, people like that, they were incredible folks. And they had a pioneer spirit.
Absolutely.
That not everyone recognizes, because when you came to this island in the 50s, there was not a whole lot here.
There wasn't a bridge at that time.
There was no bridge.
And Lois just turned 100 years old, and her family still so active and so much, and so it's just gone down the line, so many generations to follow, which is really remarkable. I say this all the time, people have no really sense of the history right here on this little island for going back decades, and now we're in a new decade, so just maybe even a neater time to come and really experience and learn all about that. So we've got some other things to talk about. Battles and Brews.
Okay.
Someone makes up these clever names here, don't they?
Obviously, alliteration is on our mind, but we took the same approach with history. So it's kind of a history and happy hour, history and high tea. So
history and happy hour, there you go.
So Battles and Brews is a neat kind of concept, and we're working with Fish down in Coligny on this. And it will be an hour history lesson. So you're going to get an hour on in Battles and Brews. So we're going to talk about the Battle of Honey Hill. And then Rex from Coastal Discovery is going to do a half hour on the history of beer. If you haven't taken Rex's class, he does a whole class on the history of beer. And it's really very, very interesting. But then we're going to follow that with a beer tasting. And again, that whole piece where you get that history lesson, but then you've got a chance for some of that social interaction afterwards, and kind of a fun time.
Yeah, and like you said, talk with the speakers, talk with the other guests that have come.
Absolutely.
And learn a little bit more. War and wine.
Right, and again.
Again, here we go.
We're going to talk about Revolutionary War here in Hilton Head. We are approaching the 250th anniversary of the American Revolution, and very few folks understand that Hilton Head played a role in the American Revolution. There are 4 grave markings at Zion Cemetery for Revolutionary War soldiers, which is the second largest number of Revolutionary soldiers buried in one spot on the east coast of South Carolina. We're second only to Charleston. So Zion Cemetery plays a really important role in our, not just Hilton Head's history, but the state's history and the nation's history. So it's really, we're looking at starting to celebrate 250 years of being a nation, and it's really kind of an exciting time. So again, when we start to get into these history programs, we'll be looking at focusing on the American Revolution over the next couple of years as we lead into that 250th anniversary. So
much time and research goes into everything that you do.
Absolutely.
It's amazing just to listen to just these few programs there. Now, can someone come and tell us where the library is located?
Sure. Library is located 2 Corpus Christi off of New Orleans Road, and we're in Suite 100. We're open Monday to Friday, 10 to 3. We're just a small private library, but we have an incredible amount of information. If you're interested in history, research, ancestry research, anything like that, we are the place to be.
Yes.
We were actually voted by USA Today as the #4 place in the world to research your family ancestry.
The #4 place in the world?
In the world. Thank you very much.
Wow, that is amazing. So you could come to Hilton Head and not just play golf and go to the beach, but you can really be rich in learning about
we don't want to ruin the chamber's day, but it does rain sometimes.
It does rain sometimes.
It does rain
and
sometimes.
It's hot sometimes.
And it's hot sometimes. But we do. So we have the library, but we also own 2 historic sites, Zion Cemetery and Fort Mitchell, and we do tours at those sites as well.
Well, I've enjoyed learning so much from you, and I hope that you all watching have as well. So check out the Heritage Library and stay right here. We're going to be back with more 843 TV.